Hello. All right. Can you let us know if you guys can hear us in Discord in the chat?
Let us know. Feels good to be back. It's been a while.
Hello.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon.
Oh, hey, Frederick.
Oh, nice.
Cyberdog.
All right.
All right.
Hey, guys.
Let's see here. I don't know why we were kind of rushed to get this one started.
I don't know. Can you guys confirm on YouTube, Brandon? Are you able to? Please and thank you.
Looks like it's quite a bit delayed over there.
That's again real quick.
Oh, yeah.
All good.
Kyle.
Oh, here's Kyle. Rick,
all right.
good to see you. Nice. Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right. So we
ready? Yeah, introductions. Yeah, let's get it done. Yeah.
All right. So welcome to our stream. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Justin.
Yeah, so we're Apollo Automation. So for those that are just tuning in the first time, welcome. Apollo is a small hardware manufacturer in Lexington, Kentucky. Or I guess Versailles, Kentucky now with our new office of Versailles. And we build IoT devices for home automation, now industrial automation. Our sensors work with Home Assistant, very soon Homey, and a couple other platforms that we're working on. What was the newest one? Open Home or Open Hab?
Yeah, Open Hab, HomeSeer, and
think
Hubitat.
we got working. So yeah,
we're looking at them. Yep.
We build anything from motion sensors, air sensors, plant sensors, temp sensors. Yeah, and whatever else people want. So I think there is a giveaway. Sure, Brandon. Yeah.
Post a link if you can. And then we'll make sure to share it in YouTube as well.
All right, pseudo random, first of 9.
All the big ones in here.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks again.
All right, so what's the
first thing
first
we
on
got?
agenda?
Yeah, so workshop updates. So just about the overall workshop.
So as we said last stream, we're in a new space. We got out of the basement into a actual building. Been going well. We got everything pretty well set up. We're running pretty good. We still got a lot of improvements to do, but that's going to be a big help from the new team members.
Yep.
We ready to say that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first, Smart Home Sellout, Brandon, has done an incredible job with our support and Discord moderation, networking with people and connecting us to the right people throughout the communities. Is now full-time. So full-time employee with us is pretty crazy.
Real.
Yeah.
Real W-2.
Real
employee.
Real employee. And then we also hired a friend to do, we're calling it operations.
Yeah.
Operations stuff. So running the day-to-day, which is managing building sensors, managing procurement, which is a big time, managing inventory levels. So hoping to keep us from having stock outs and problems like that. Fulfillment and shipping, lots of that takes up a lot of Justin's and I's time, is now being covered by somebody, which lets us focus on product development and other ecosystems and community outreach and things like that. So really excited for that. A couple new team members, or one new team member, one just around more.
All right. And so we updated our team section. I sent a link in both Discord and YouTube, so you guys can pop over there, and it shows a picture of us and little bio. That would be nice if we could, like you were saying, could share it and just kind of go through the bio with them. But so take a look at that. It's pretty neat. And other than that, we just wanted to.
It's still going.
Social. Okay. Other than that, just wanted to say again that we're very excited that we joined the Works with Home Assistant program last month. So our Air 1, MSR2, and MTR 1 are all certified now, and that's just a big milestone for our small company. The other companies on there are pretty big, and we were still in the basement up until a couple months ago now. So pretty cool to be on that certified list. It looks like Brandon shared. a link. So just very humbled and very excited for that. And be sure to watch the State of the Open Home Address coming up, I think on the 12th. I think at the end of the week. So just wanted to say that again. And then Homey, Trevor had mentioned earlier, the test app is available. So if you want to test the Apollo sensors on Homey, you don't have to do anything different to the Apollo sensor. You just have to have a Homey and get it installed. So we're looking for more testers and more feedback on that. And then Trevor had also touched on it with HomeSeer and Hubitat. So we actually have, there's a community member who makes integrations for HomeSeer, who's actually been working and successfully has gotten Apollo devices into HomeSeer. And I think they're actively working on the updates for that. So thank you to them. And then we've been talking with Gavin, actually, from HomeTech.fm podcast about getting our sensors to work on Hubitat because he was a Hubitat user before Home Assistant. So we have some leads there, too. So if you have any experience with any other ecosystems, like Trevor mentioned, OpenHab as well, any of those, let us know. We're wanting to get our devices to work on all the ecosystems. So if you have any information or have any know-how, we would greatly appreciate any help. So
yeah,
looks like we're going into resin printing now.
Yeah. And for anybody new here, feel free any questions or comments to put in either of the chats. We're happy to answer them as we go if you guys have any questions or input. So on our cases, so we have been trying to work on improving our 3D printed cases. Right now we use FDM 3D printing, which is what most people think about when they hear 3D printing. We were looking at injection molding. The cost of that is quite high, and it kind of locks you into a specific design. So we have been testing, really heavily testing resin 3D printing for the last 4 months pretty heavily, trying to hone in on the surface finish, the print success, which printer do we want, which resin do we want, doing a lot of improvements there. Brandon just saying the microphone might be a little worse.
Okay. Does it sound like we're too far away or too loud? We got time. We can get this set up. Yeah. Any suggestions?
I don't know. We're
like in a soundproof room, and the mic is above. We can go down a little bit more before it gets in there.
Not much.
There it is. Back up a little bit. Okay.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to play it back and listen to it.
Interesting.
So anyway, on resin, so we've been exploring that really heavily. We've got the surface finishes down. We've got print quality down. We've got print success down. We've got fast printers that we found. We're trying to figure out one last step is the dimensional accuracy, essentially. So our parts are really sensitive to dimensional changes, are off of the dimensions. And so we're down to a 1/4 millimeter difference that we're trying to improve on. So essentially our case wall thickness should be 1.75 millimeters in this case, and it's coming out at 1.5 millimeters, which is given the slightest little overhang to our lids of our cases. And just trying to work on figuring out how to improve that. But other than that, the surface finish is beautiful.
Yeah, I was about to say, they look great.
Yeah.
Very impressed and very excited.
Really high success rate of the printability, really quick times. We like the resin. We have a good plan to scale the printers and washing and curing. So
quicker than FDM.
Yeah, quicker than FDM. So very, very neat and excited for that. Just working on trying to get the printer's dimensional accuracy. So if anybody has a lot of experience with resin printing, we would love to.
Yep.
Any help we could get, we would gladly.
We say this all the time. We're not experts, or we're just having fun and trying to figure it out.
All right. Oh, Tube is in here. Hey, Tube.
Oh, hey, Tube. Good to hear from you. Tube's, if you guys want to share, or Brandy want to share, he makes Zigbee controllers and different things, and he's based here in the U.S. as well. I think over
real nice
in the Northeast.
equipment.
Yep. Yeah, take a look at his stuff. Oh, there it is. Yeah. And I'll go back up here.
All right.
So that's everything with the resin, pretty much, I guess. And then So upcoming events, we kind of touched on it last time. We had like a manufacturing expo that we went to, which was great in Louisville, Kentucky. Met a lot of great other companies in Kentucky and the surrounding area that are all in manufacturing. And we had an undercover event, which was in Lexington, which is for like tech companies to meet students and professionals for jobs or just to kind of get your name out there. So those are great. One that we've talked about before is LANWAR, which is a LAN gaming event, but they also have board games and they also have duct tape wars. We actually flew Brandon up from Texas and met him for the first time at this past LANWAR. It's a great time. Brandon, if you don't mind to share a link, they actually just redid their website. So we'll be there. We're actually a sponsor of the event, so we have a booth there, but we're also gaming too. So
yeah,
it's just a blast. We've been going for a long time.
If anybody misses the old days of LANs, like big LANs,
Yep.
everybody in one big room together, tons
Yep.
of events, tournaments. It's one of the few remaining that has been
I
going
don't
on
know.
this long.
I haven't heard this. This has been going on since the '90s. I don't know if any other big ones like this. It's just
Pretty large.
fantastic team, great event. Like I said, there's a lot of gaming. There's console gaming. They have tournaments. There's streaming, but you can also people do puzzles. People hang out.
Yep.
But we'll
board
be
games,
there.
Everything.
Yeah, so we'll be there if you guys want to come and hang out. We plan on Brandon coming back up as well. We'll have the whole team. And another big one, we went to CES in January. We're looking at going to the equivalent in the EU in Europe. It's called IFA or IFA Berlin, I think is how they pronounce it. So it's similar to CES. So we plan on being there and meeting up with the Home Assistant teams and the Homey teams and everybody over there. So we'll be out there in September. So if you're in the EU or in Germany in that area, we plan on kind of doing a little Euro trip. We'd be interested in doing a meet and greet. So
Sure.
I think it'd be great. I think it would be fun to meet everybody. So if you have any other suggestions for events that you feel like we should sponsor or go to, please let us know. We're always looking for new stuff to get into, network and meet people. So yeah, just let us know. That would be great. And then, big ones right into product development.
All right, so Michael Lean just joined. Hey, Michael. Michael's got a great YouTube channel. We can get you put the link in chat there. Hey, Michael.
Yep.
So now we're on to product development. So, and this is interrupt with questions at any point in time on here.
Please.
So we've got a few sensors that have been in development. One that kind of came up pretty quick. We'd been working on it. We finally got some final pieces. So the first one I think it posted in the description of here is we're working on the name still, the R1, R Pro 1, essentially a do-it-all radar sensor. So this radar, it's got PoE on it, which is a huge request for making better network connectivity to it.
Is it really a PoE? People want PoE?
Justin has been trying to get me to make PoE. It's
really
Hobby
want it.
Boy. Hey, Hobby Boy.
Let's hear from you.
And so it's got PoE on the back. It's got the USB, rear USB, kind of like the MTR. That's really nice for mounting solutions. It has a lot of options for radar units on it. So the top center there is the LD2450. So that's going to tell you the XY coordinates of where you're at, just like the MTR. It's going to tell you really precisely where in the room is that person. It says up to 3 targets. It's really best at 2 targets. But they don't have the greatest still detection. So if you're sitting really still, it's not the greatest to see you. So that's why we combined it with, we've got both space for a LD2410, which is what's in the MSR2. Fantastic still detection. And then we have headers on there as well for the LD2412, which is the, I'd say maybe improved 2410. Mm-hmm. It's it's got better range, but worse distance detection. But the thing about that is if you have the 2450 that we have on there, that gives perfect distance detection. So we can not worry about the inaccuracy of the distance on the 2412 and instead focus on the 2410's distance, use the 2412 for still detection. So really, really excited for this one. It also has a plug in there for, your watch is going off. A plug in there for the I'm blanking on the sensor name. It's the DF Robot. It's a long-range millimeter wave. I don't need the exact spec. It is wildly wrong.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I should have had it ahead of time.
I think it's the SEN 0395.
Yeah. What's the distance on that?
It's like 25. Is it 9 meters? There's a 25 meter version.
Yeah. So it also has plug-in for this. It's a specific sensor from DF Robot. It's expensive, but 25 meter distance is really wild. Hey, Danny. Danny's in here.
Oh, hey, Dad. What's going on? And so there was a question.
Yeah, Michael just asked, can it accommodate 2 different modules at once? Yes. So you could have the 2450 and then either the 2410 or the 2412, or the you can't have, if you're going to do this really long range DF Robot, that's the only one that can fit on there. But you can do 2410 and 2450 or 2412 and 2450. We might end up dropping the 2410 if we see that the 2412 is significantly better at still detection and distance and things like that, or range, I should say. We may end up dropping it and just going with the 2412. So yeah, you really, like Hobby Boy just said, you really get the best of both of the sensors combined. Plus it's PoE, plus it is compact enough that if somebody were to say it would fit into a single gang receptacle or a ceiling mount. We plan on making a mount for these like spring-loaded. So this is like you would drill a hole in your ceiling. They've got spring-loaded clamps on them so that you could ceiling mount this with the PoE access now to power it. That would be a really, really seamless look to have that just completely in your wall or ceiling. I could put it. Possibly could fit behind a single
dimensions
switch
make
plate.
It work, very well in a single like 1U gang box.
I think technically you have to have a special Ethernet cable to run into. Well, only if it's mixed with high voltage. I don't know about if it's being on its own.
Yeah,
but
I was hoping Freeman would be on here because he's usually our local electrician. Did he? Okay, I think he did. Okay,
for in wall or in ceiling. So
yes,
it is small enough that we'll have a mount to mount it into the screws of a normal like electrical box in the US. So,
yep.
Really, really excited about that. Really interested in it. PoE millimeter wave has been a huge request. And Justin keeps laughing because people have been asking for PoE since the very beginning.
Very beginning. The first comment, I say this all the time. The first comment we got was, does the MSR1 work on Zigbee or is it Zigbee? And I was like, no. The next comment was like, is it PoE? And we're like, no. And then, so we're glad to have the PoE on the way for sure. So.
Yeah, so still have the buzzer. It has the quad LEDs on it, so you'll be able to send notifications, which would also really coolly like shine through this white plastic in your ceiling mount. Mm-hmm. Really, really interested to have that as options for a really clean, really nice install.
Plus, I know Brandon's touched on this too, and he's a big, Wi-Fi guy, and taking these millimeter waves off of your Wi-Fi, which are constantly pinging, is going to be huge to have that over, Ethernet. So that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So Twix had a quick question a little bit farther back.
Does something like the Aquara FP2 have both multiple types? I don't know exactly if they have multiple types or if they have a unique proprietary radar.
We have a comparison. I've looked it up, and it's an odd radar they're using. But I think that they say they can do up to 5 targets and 4 zones or something. So but we've mixed signals on that one, but everybody's environment's different. But this should hopefully be kind of similar. Still detection. So. And then you answered Michael. Yeah,
Michael was asking any new features to make it even easier to dial in the sensitivity, distance, zone management. Yes. So millimeter wave is very tough to set up. Or I shouldn't say very tough. It's tougher to set up currently. So 2 things. One, there's some really nice cards and like home assistant dashboards to manage the zones of the LD2450. We haven't made them for hours quite yet, but we will be making them for hours. and that'll work for the MTR or the R1. And then the 2412 has an improved like auto sense in the app. I think you might even be able to trigger it now from Home Assistant. But it's like essentially you would turn it on when nobody's in the room, and you would say, okay, this is my background noise that it's going to detect to help you dial in so you don't have any false positives. They've improved it a lot on the 2412, and I think those two should help out a lot. I don't think that we will have like the same gates that we have, or sorry, the zones that we have on the MSR2, where it's like these purely distance-based zones, because the 2450 will handle zones better than that and are easier to set up. So I think it'll be a mix, Michael. I think it's it's harder than an air sensor that you just plug in and the air sensor reports. Like you do have to have some type of calibration most of the time. But I think using both sensors, the advantages of both, to outcast the negatives of each other, I think is going to help a lot. I don't know if I said that if it made any sense.
The default settings usually work for most people. Yeah. We do get support questions about, I'm having trouble tuning this, but usually it's like I have a fan or a ceiling fan or curtains or pets and stuff. So the default settings are usually pretty good. But we do have the videos, and Brandon's been doing great wiki articles and stuff. So if you don't forget about our wiki. Brandon mostly puts a good amount of time into it right now. So don't forget about that. The videos are very nice. We did have a question about the radon sensor, and would it be part of the R1 or a separate sensor?
Yeah, so tough. Okay, so radon is quite large. It's like a can of soda. Picture that. The units are pretty large that are
real ones
available.
That are good.
Yeah. So if it was part of the R1, it would be an add-on, but I do want it to be a standalone thing on its own. So I've not exactly figured out how that works out from product design, like how it can attach both to its own base and also be an add-on, because it's expensive. Like both the air sensor is expensive from the particulate sensors and things like that, CO2 sensors, those are expensive. The radon sensor is expensive on its own. So I don't want to force people to have to buy the air sensor to get radon. If they only want radon, they should be able to buy the radon on its own and have it perfectly functioning. So that you essentially could, if you want the whole thing together, you could buy the whole thing together as one big unit, or if you want them to be on their own, you can have each individually. So that's kind of the product plan for that. We've got a guy we know here in town that's working on making the communicating with the radon sensor, so it doesn't have a library built for it, so we've got to go through that process. Yeah.
Hey Kristen, what's going on? She joined in. Good to see you again. And real quick, we've been debating on the R1 about, is it just going, if you were to recess it in a gang box or ceiling mount, a light lux sensor doesn't really make too much sense because it's going to be guarded, behind the wall plate. The temperature and humidity, PoE, makes a lot of heat, so even more so than just the microcontroller and Wi-Fi. So that's going to be tough. And then also like CO2, if it's in a wall, you're not really going to have much airflow around it. So is it really going to be that accurate? So that's one of the things that we're still looking at doing. We've posted on Reddit, and people still want the temperature and humidity. People are saying they still want CO2 because it will be surface mountable, like tabletop mountable, but
it'll have a case if you want to put it on a table, if you want to set it wherever, like that's fine, and then it'll just also be able to go on a wall in a ceiling.
So like if you guys want to comment and let us know, we have a channel in Discord, but like even now on the live stream, like would you want temp and humidity, even though it's going to be a huge offset? Would you want light and UV, even though it's really not going to work? Would you want CO2? So if it,
so we should have. I mean, we're getting the first PCBs. I should tell you where we're at. We're getting the first PCBs for this design in probably a week and a couple days. We'll test them out internally quite a bit. If they're good, then we will ship them off to some beta testers in our network, get those tested, and then refine it, and then a product will come out. So
Showed up.
Oh,
Got
Jesse.
Jesse's in here. Thanks again for coming by, checking
and
on
Ben.
us.
Jesse, Ben. Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Jesse's like the main developer for ESP Home.
Yeah.
So thank him, because we wouldn't be here without him. So
yeah, really excited about R1. I was going to answer pseudo random said, will there be multiple sensors be combined somehow at the hardware level? In what we will see exposed on Home Assistant. Yeah, essentially you would see it as if there was two sensors, two sets of entities inside of the sensor. So you would see one sensor called the R1, and then you would get the 2450 zones, the 2412 motion. So you get both of them on there. Michael, haven't really planned on doing PIR. Really, like all of our opinion is that like the millimeter wave is so responsive and so quick that especially when you have it hooked up to a network an Ethernet cable here, that the PIR doesn't like have a huge advantage to it. If you've had other tests that say that it's been much improvement, we'd love to talk, because that's the only reason we haven't put it on there, is just because the 2410s and 2412s are so fast at seeing you that we haven't really seen the advantage of a PIR.
But it does come up often. But again, like any testing we've ever done, the millimeter wave just seems to be just as quick, and you get the benefits of the still detection for most. So, but we're always open to any new sensors or tests. So yeah, please let us know. So he's just
yeah.
I've heard the same thing. Like I think Gavin talks about that too from HomeTech.fm podcast. Like that it's nice to have the PR to trigger stuff, and then the millimeter wave to shut stuff off. Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah, it could be something. It's also tougher from like a case design, because then if you have a PIR, so millimeter wave can shoot straight through this plastic, but like a PIR would have to have a hole to look through it. It's not opposed to it, especially not opposed to adding like the GPIO availability on the sensor for somebody to plug one in on their own. That could be something could be a good compromise there. Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I love having that flexibility and allowing you guys to add whatever. They have a great ESP Home library, so you can just the other day we had someone who has a pool, and it has ozone. I guess I forget. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but they use ozone, and they're like, "Hey, it'd be cool to like see the ozone levels." And we're like, "Oh, you can just essentially." Here's an ozone sensor that works with the ESP Home library, and you essentially copy and paste the YAML into the R1 YAML, and then compile it, install it, and now you have an ozone sensor. Yeah, attach it to the R1.
Yeah, that was already existing. So we love having the GPIO header, and thanks again to Jesse for the library. So
and the community that's built it.
Oh yeah, and the community as well. So that was just really cool stuff that you can do with the GPIO header.
Yeah,
and Brandon's done some great stuff with LED light strips with the MSR2. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah. The P1, parking one, PA1.
Yeah, so that's R1. We'll be posting about it more and more, and then, like I said, starting a beta. Hopefully, you never know. You always hope that your PCBs are going to work. Like, sure they're going to work. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But then you get them in, it could be something off. So
yeah,
we'll keep you guys updated on that. Very excited because it's pretty requested.
Real quick, don't forget about the giveaway. There's a sign up. I don't know if when it ends, but there's a link. Yep, perfect.
There it is.
Thanks, Brandon.
Okay, so past R1, and if you guys have any better name for R1, I think we've been calling it R Pro because it has the PoE.
I did. It was like R Pro 1, but it's like it was kind of the R1 sounds better.
But we have the Temp Pro. That's PoE.
I don't know. R1 Pro, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Naming is hard.
Yeah. Whatever you guys think. I don't want to get to like Apple levels or like AMD.
R1 Pro Max.
Pro Max, Ultra. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what's up next is the parking. This has been such a long time coming. It's almost embarrassing.
We're sorry, guys.
It's been kept putting on the back burner. The hardware looks great. The hardware's functioning. We are on the software testing. the software is just tough to get right with the auto waking of it, because it goes to sleep, because that's a battery option. It'll sleep, then it needs to wake up. Getting that figured out has just been really tough in testing. But hopefully now that we have some more help on our team, that we will have a lot more time for that. So Justin's going to get done this month.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of our main goals.
Yeah.
Besides the other ecosystems, get that parking sensor done, because I think we've been. I mean, this is something that we wanted.
Yeah,
I think it was even before we started the company.
I wanted it for so early.
I mean.
Yeah. Jesse said he's got the painter's tape down, waiting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. See, Michael. Yeah, they got the old tried and true methods, but it'll be cool to see what automations people make off of these smart sensors, because it'll work. It'll be like our ornament, which comes with like a basic firmware that doesn't need smart connectivity or Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And then it'll also have a smart home home assistant firmware.
Yeah. So really trying to hone in on it, and because it's definitely something I needed. I couldn't hang a tennis ball easily. For some reason, it's like a 2-story garage.
Yeah.
So the garage is like super, super high. Yeah.
We're gonna work on it, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We've been saying it, but we'll get it done. We got more help. We got Kyle. We got Brandon's full time. They're always helping.
Justin will get it done this month.
Yeah, we'll get it done. So that's fine. Put it on me.
If anybody is pretty good at YAML, and wants to play with one, I will ship it to you, and you can have it.
I'm pretty sure Jesse's right there and was like,
does he know
what one?
YAML?
He wants one. We'll overnight it to New Zealand. That's where he is. So.
Yeah, it's just some software debugging on it that needs to play around.
Probably have it fixed tonight. Yeah, we'll overnight one.
I can't send it to Jesse. It'd be too embarrassing. You'd be done.
Yeah, well, that's all right. We all gotta learn. So
yeah.
Cyber Dog said I'm good at Chat GPT.
Yeah, it helps out.
That new 3.0 I think is supposed to be helpful with.
And I've been playing around with. It's called Cursor, Cursor.ai. It's like a Visual Studio fork that integrates. Really, really liking that recently, for not just for YAML, but I use it for some other programming tasks.
Prompt engineer.
Yeah.
That is a real thing though. If you prompting can be very, very important.
So that's parking. It's so close. It's so close.
It's so far.
Just need to push through the hurdle of the software, debugging it. So.
And the Dev 2 is available. I don't think we really had made an announcement for it or anything, but it is on. It's live.
It's kind of like the Dev 1. So, right, we're always prototyping new sensors, and we test out tons of things outside of the products that even make it to an idea on these Discords. And so we built, out of frustration with current dev boards, either the cost or the performance, we're not having all the I/O that we want. We built our own development boards just internally, and it was somebody who was posting in our Discord. They were had the same frustration. They're like, man, I hate all these boards out there. I also don't want to spend $20 on a nicer board. What do you guys use? And we're like, we just use our internal one. It turned out that they wanted to purchase it. We put them up for sale. So the Dev 1 is a ESP32C3. The Dev 2 is the ESP32C6. So the C6 is pretty cool. You can play around with the Zigbee on it. It's got Thread, Matter, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It's a pretty sick chip all around.
It's getting more support in ESP Home.
Yeah, more and more support. Really, really like it. And so we have, it doesn't have WLED support, unfortunately.
Oops. Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come. We posted that on our site because we built one internally to start testing out for future sensors to be on the C6 chip, because we're trying to migrate to that as much as we can.
Thanks, Michael. See you, buddy.
See you, Michael. Trying to switch to the C6 as much as we can, just for the other options being able to really primarily Zigbee. We would love to offer Zigbee connection to Home Assistant on our sensors as well. That would be fantastic. So
there was just ESP Home Zigbee.
Yeah, there's a small, or I shouldn't say small. There's a fork or a pull request or something. I don't know what stage exactly was that.
Yeah.
Something out there that people were adding in a functionality of Zigbee ESP Home.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool to offer because that is very highly requested.
Oh, Jesse's typing.
I know. Jesse said he'll have it done tonight.
Threading is true. Oh, wow.
I didn't think that was going to come
API.
so quickly.
We'll send you as many dev2s as you need.
Yeah, I'll send you a truckload if you need them.
Tell you whatever you got to do.
Yeah, only had said Zigbee because I thought it was closer. Thread would be pretty sweet as well. So
I like that.
Yeah, definitely interested in getting those out there.
First of Nine actually shared this pretty neat looking tower light, which is cool.
Yeah, they have a very specific name. It is.
What's it connected to?
It can connect to anything. I think they're very, very popular in manufacturing because it's like a status symbol. It has a name. If somebody's got to know the name on here.
Yeah, come on, guys.
It has an industry term for those types of lights that plug into machines to tell you the status.
We've been to some places that use cups and like other colored things that besides this would be cool.
It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna look it up tonight. It's got a name.
Someone's gotta know. Come on, guys.
All right, so that's the parking update. That's the Dev 2 update. The R1 update. What else do we have?
Let's see. Yeah, the bar is showing up.
We should figure out our live streams.
You think
we just did a really cool I don't know what you call it, like a group live stream with
yes,
Simon Says.
Yeah. Michael's usually has been
Michael's
on
them.
I think Travis from DigiBlur, Justin from
Dr. Z's,
and then Strato.
Yeah.
Strato Lab.
Yeah, we just did a stream with them that was really, really cool, and they were using Riverside. Which is nice.
Yeah.
So
be sure to check out all those channels and check out some great conversation between Trevor and all those guys.
So that's products.
Did you talk about us doing the industrial install? Was that at the very beginning?
Right.
We talked about that, didn't we?
No, we didn't say. So we had told you guys before about this Temp Pro that we made. It's essentially the Temp 1 with a I2C port to allow like a temperature and humidity probe as well. And then it's also PoE powered. We built it specifically for somebody in an industrial setting that wanted one. We don't have it up for sale. People have asked for it. It's really just trying to figure out like what other functionality we should add or just release it as is. But anyway, long story short, we've installed 6 of them at a manufacturing plant. Really cool because they are super excited to see temperature and humidity with extreme accuracy and responsiveness throughout their facility. They are also eager and running Home Assistant, Jesse, which is pretty cool. So they've got a Home Assistant install at a multi tens and maybe probably hundreds of $1 million factory assistant. Yeah. If we could have better user management, we could sell it to more industrial people. We need like user management permissions.
You mean like more granularity between like what can and can't be done? Because like the users, getting more users in Home Assistant's fine, but it's just like setting permissions for each user.
Or Microsoft accounts or something like that. But not really Home Assistant's intention, I don't think so.
I'm posting some pictures now of the factory and one of the sensors. Yeah, really cool. They're a global company. They had a huge booth at CES. And we were like, wait, is that the same company? And sure enough, I think they're in Hungary and they're also in Korea because that's where they're based out of. But
yeah, definitely was excited to get that installed. They're loving it. They want more sensors. They want CO2, other things. So really, really cool to have that out there.
Oh, yeah. And then, there's lots of industry in that area. That's actually, if you're familiar with EVs at all, that's where the blue oval plant is going. Ford's huge new battery factory for all of their EVs.
Yeah.
So there'll be probably making some aluminum for them. So.
All right. What else we got? What's next on the agenda?
What do we got?
Just kind of the closing pieces.
I guess so, yeah.
Beta firmware. So we're always looking for more people to join beta firmware. There's a Discord role in here for getting that. And that lets us test out software earlier. Because it is, I can't imagine Jesse's job. It is scary to roll out firmware to thousands of people that are all around the world and doing different things with your sensors. It is scary.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate our beta channel so that it can get tested by many different use cases. We've built a lot of automation. Continue to build more and more automation around automated testing. Now we have automated testing that will occur weekly on our builds. We've got big release notes improvements. It's I don't know if it's on any of the actual sensors. It's on the Temp Pro. Maybe it's maybe on beta on one other sensor. But yeah, so we implemented a really cool release notes system that Home Assistant and ESP Home have built in. That was a big request. Now that people are, when they go click update, it used to just be like, trust us.
Yeah.
Like
it's fine. Trust
but
us,
now
bro.
it's going to show you the list of changes and links to the code changes. So that'll be rolling out to all of our sensors. We got really, really happy with it. A really beautiful, the new update system that Jesse and the team built.
Yeah.
For Home
and
Assistant.
Brandon was working with B Draco, I think, on getting like a firmware update button in
getting that fixed,
which is nice. So yeah, anything you see, please let us know. Hey Scott, then YouTube, and then Alex says he just got two MSR2s in the mail.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks for the support.
Excited for you to get them, Alex.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. We love seeing pictures of people deploying them in their homes or wherever.
Yeah,
so
post in our Discord.
Share and showcase, if you don't mind, please. That'd be great. And then
so is the beta firmware.
Then we have the future product survey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Now that we're coming in more time, we need to probably take a look at that. We're gonna make a note because we got to remove some things that we've already done.
Oh yeah, we have done some things on there, haven't we?
Please
parking.
Take the 5 minutes or 1 minute to fill out our product interest survey. That is, never say it more time. We know, Jesse.
Yeah.
The product interest survey literally drives a massive amount of our development. So that is, anytime that we're starting to wrap up sensors and we're saying, hey, what's next on the list? What do we need to start ordering R&D parts for? We go to this product interest survey and we look to say, what are the top things that are going on in there? And then we start talking to the community about them. So that is huge in driving our product development.
Real quick, First of Nine brought up that someone was talking about the Temp one and requesting that it have two 3.5mm jacks. That's another thing that can be done already with the one jack.
Yes. Do we have
we need to finish
that
that? Brandon, you have that pin somewhere, I bet, right?
Yeah.
Is it in Showcase?
So essentially, First of Nine, you can use like a headphone jack splitter and plug in two different probes into it. It takes a little bit of configuring. You do have to go look at your logs and see what the addresses of both of the sensors are now, and then change a little bit of YAML. But it's totally doable. Multiple sensors is possible, as well as like headphone extension cable is also usable to extend the sensor's distance.
Yeah, I think we even have one that's like a 6-way that you plugged in, and we had I think it was like 4 different temperatures. Yep. That's something that we would like to work on and offer, because it is, a lot of people like have a smoker and they have 3 different pieces of meat in there or 4 different pieces of meat in there, or people want to monitor their refrigerator and their freezer.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't work on the food probes. It's only the Dallas probe that you can have multiple plugged in. So I should have clarified that.
Yeah, but that's still pretty neat. So. I wonder if would there be a way to get the NTC?
I don't know.
That one's pretty tough.
One reading.
Yeah. All right.
So that's product survey. That is beta. That is what else?
And then we have the feedback squad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another great way to participate. So the beta tag in Discord allows you to get notified about beta updates. The feedback squad, I really like this one. So this is you can get to the channels and roles here in Discord. Feedback squad, if you go grab that role, anytime that we have like a product development question, if we say, like a lot of stuff that we ask on here, like, hey, do we have to include temperature on the R1? We'll ping the feedback squad, and that's a great way to interact to say, like, essentially you're putting on this role to say, I'm okay with being tagged to give product feedback. You don't have to give the feedback, but it's a way to get notified when we're asking for feedback on products. really, really cool way to be interactive, and we take in huge amounts of community suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to make something that the community doesn't want, so that's very important. And we don't want to over-engineer something if it's something that simple that people want.
Yeah. Like Ben said, it doesn't cost you anything, but you get input into the design, and then there are lots of design changes that have made it all the way that people benefit from.
How many other companies actually take design? I'm sure there's some out there, but how many other companies are this open and say hey, we want to make what you want, tell us what to make, essentially.
Who requested the food probe?
I'm pretty sure it was code in progress, but again, I haven't heard from them. I missed them. I don't know if hopefully everything's okay. I'm not sure if we've been able to get a hold of them. But...
So the temp one was going to be just a regular Dallas sensor. Code in Progress made this suggestion to say, hey, why don't we also add a food probe?
Yeah.
What a great idea. We were able to add it to the sensor. It took us months to get it, but we got it. And then, now tons of people use it all the time.
And one thing I forgot, I put it in bold, actually, after the agenda. So we've been talking with a electronics retailer in the United Kingdom called the Pi Hut. You guys have heard of them? And we actually have just sent them an order, so they will actually have our devices on the Pi Hut. And so
really excited for that, because we have Open Circuit, who's in the Netherlands to serve the EU. We have Domo Supply in Switzerland. It serves just Switzerland.
And Liechtenstein, I think.
And Liechtenstein. Yeah. And now we've got the Pi Hut to serve the UK.
Because of Brexit. Yep. And even if the EU, they still have to pay taxes and VAT.
So really excited to get on the Pi Hut. Really excited for that.
So if you're in the UK, United Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Brandon said, plus we do our own distribution from Canada and Australia.
Yep.
Shout out to them for the people.
Yes, thank you to Postman Pat, and then Smart Home Australia, Paul Toner over there.
Oh, he's got a tag.
There we go.
Pat.
Yeah, he has his own tag. Yeah, and I think it's a maple leaf after it too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're awesome.
Really excited for the Pi Hut, because the United Kingdom, that's been one of the pain points for a lot of people, is because they still have to pay taxes and VAT any way we can get it to them. So very excited about that. Hopefully, if you guys, if anybody's in the United Kingdom and has an experience ordering from them, please let us know how it goes. But very, very excited for that. What else do we have? I think that pretty much is it. Brandon, do you have anything else that we forgot? I think we covered everything on the... We have... Oh, I don't know. I made an announcement. We have had historic flooding in the area. And so I don't know if there may be delays. We're still getting orders out. We're fully operating, even though we did have a lake right behind us. Actually had to go in different doors. But we haven't seen any delays from the USPS, but there is it's been declared a disaster area, historical flooding. So hopefully there won't be any issues with the USPS or anything like that. But just a heads up, I have some pictures in the announcements section. You can see our parking lot before and after, as well as our back door before and after. Yeah. So hopefully there won't be anything like that.
Brandon. So NFC, just a lot of difficulty getting it running. So I got it running finally on a dev board. The antenna of that is kind of hard to design. So it's a very specific antenna layout and with very specific components to allow it to function to its optimal. Still trying to figure out that enough design or find somebody that's got enough experience to be able to replicate it. That's really where it's at. It's just kind of above my electronics know-how. It's antenna design. So, working on that.
Very excited for that. Any other questions? Anything else that we forgot? Anything new or that we should know about? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Jesse, you're saying our parking lot because it's underwater, or our parking lot because it was a gravel yard before?
Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and share some pictures here so you guys can see in chat. Sorry, YouTubers.
Oh, because it's a gravel lot.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I mean, We just got out of the basement, Jesse. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. We just left the basement. So, but hopefully, eventually, with everybody's support, we'll be able to upgrade a little bit. But we're very happy where we are. But I'm posting some pictures. His office is the garage. So there you go. So,
Yeah.
but you can see the before and after. This is literally right behind our workshop, or like this is the workshop.
Yeah.
So yeah, standard Kentucky parking lots. There you go.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, the Air One. We had a potential, I guess, issue where we're going to be out of stock for a little bit, but they actually shipped a little bit early. We ordered a good amount, and so all the Air Ones are in stock.
But they might go out of stock in a couple of months. So if you're really waiting to get a mix on gas sensor, get it now.
Because we pretty much
or
bought
earlier,
everything.
Because we bought everything the supplier had while they're switching suppliers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have enough inventory to last through the whole supply chain or supply change, but we bought everything they had. So
yeah. So get those orders in, and I guess this was a big one that we did talk
Yeah.
about, the tariffs. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
if you guys have been watching the news at all,
in the U.S., it's
so
we're definitely keeping a close eye on the tariffs. So it's a pretty big change for us because there's a lot to it. We try to do as much as we can here in the U.S. So we do all final assembly, all testing, all flashing, all design,
everything.
all shipping. I guess all shipping because it goes from here to Canada
Yeah.
to be reshipped.
yeah.
Try to do as much as we can here in the U.S. But unfortunately, there just are not a whole lot of electronics component manufacturers or PCB manufacturers over here in the U.S. And so our parts will definitely be getting hit by the new tariffs, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of issues with it. And so right now we have enough stock to kind of coast through for a little bit before we have to evaluate prices or figure out what the next plan is. But
I'm sure Tubes is feeling it too.
it really sucks for electronics people because there's just not another supplier we can use that doesn't going to get hit by the tariff.
Yeah.
So not sure what's going on with that, and we'll keep seeing where it goes.
Yep. I mean, we've been open and transparent the whole time. We'll try to, we'll let you guys know. We've already posted about the Air 1 price had gone up because of we'd already gotten hit. I think the Sen 55 or one of the sensors had already gotten hit.
Yeah.
So we did increase the price slightly by a few dollars. But we'll try to be just as open and transparent as always, and appreciate the input.
Yeah, Brandon, you got them all. LED 1, or I don't know what we called it. Did we? I don't know if we. LED 1 was.
One taken?
Well, Brandon said not to use the WLED, and we had LED 1 reserved for something. Anyway, Brandon bent my arm enough to build a WLED controller, and so we're excited. It's kind of early. We're just doing the first prototype boards. But essentially, it'll be USB with power delivery that can do up to 12 volts. I think 3 or so amps through power delivery. It's got Wago plugs on the input for 5 volts, 12 volts, 24 volts, up to 10 amps. And then 2 outputs for 2 different sets of LED strings. With an ESP chip on board and a microphone. So it's a really, really nice, for 90% of WLED things, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If you need the extreme ends of 40 amps and 20 outputs, it's short of that. But almost everything else, it's the size of I think a credit card. So it's very tiny, be very thin. Onboard Wago, so you don't have to use any screws or soldering or anything like that. Really high quality onboard fuse. Okay, one good question.
Oh yeah,
On the fuse. So I'm adding in a fuse. If anybody's experienced with WLED or has a input on this, whether we choose a resettable fuse, which means essentially when it triggers the fuse, it'll stop the circuit, but then you essentially unplug it and let it cool off, and the sensor will work right away again.
Kind of like a JSCI, right?
Yeah, it kind of like resets itself.
Yeah.
I just blanked on the name, but the other type of fuse is where once it's used and goes over, it's like literally severed.
Yeah, like an automotive fuse.
You have to replace it. Now the replacements are cheap. They're like cents, but you're going to pay shipping to anybody. So by the time you do that, they're bucks, a couple bucks.
Yeah, so that's a Griffith and YouTube saying car battery fuse for the win. So that seems like a pretty common way to go.
The fuse I'm looking at is it's a smaller fuse than a car battery. It behaves the same with where it's like and I keep blanking on the name of the type of the fuse. But
I think Brandon said it's a blade fuse.
Maybe I think it had something else like a one-time fuse or anything. Anyway, it's like that. It's just much smaller. And yeah, you would essentially pull it off the board, be able to throw it away, and then put another fuse on the board. So, Jesse said, I guess it's both. It looks both of the resettable and the one-time use fuse, I think is what it's called. One-time use fuse is on there. So
the first of 9 said just be careful if someone is on Amazon. They say 20 amp, but don't blow till 90. So that's a little bit of a discrepancy there.
Yeah.
So
we will obviously super test it. It sounds like there's 4 people who spoke up about choosing the one-time fuse, versus the resettable fuses. I think technically the one-time fuse is meets higher safety standards because it there is no it literally severs the connection between. So maybe that was enough of a push to get us over to
just want to say real quick, we did on YouTube. Michael Kelly gave us a shout out, said that the Pi Hut is big and looks like they'll be able to order and try some stuff now.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's incredible. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah,
and that's been a barrier for a lot of people. And MTR1 versus a car FP2 don't need multi-person detection.
If you don't need multi-person detection, go with the MSR2. It's got much better static detection. I guess, well, it depends, A13X, if you need positioning. So do you need to know the XY coordinates of the person in the room, or do you just need to know that they're in the room or not in the room?
Because they both are multi-sensors. They both have the same functionality. MSR2 is actually quite a bit small, significantly smaller.
Yeah.
So yeah, MSR2 would probably be the better one there. And then First of 9 sharing some automotive fuses. Yep.
Yeah, tube. It can essentially keep cycling the resettable fuses.
He wants zones.
Yeah.
So yeah, MTR1 would be the one with actual true zones, but not multi-person detection.
Yeah. He's asking first the Aquara. We have maybe Brandon can post a comparison. Obviously, we have some bias. We make the MTR.
We do.
But we truly make it because we think it's an improvement for some.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, I think the car FP2 is $60 or $70.
Yeah, I think you could buy two MTRs or an MTR with CO2 and still be under.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let's see. Brandon. Share
What else we got? Look up real quick. SMD one-time fuse. Good images.
Images?
Yeah, those. But yeah,
this guy?
That right there.
Oh, this guy here.
Yeah. Post that in Discord for us. Yeah, this is kind of what I was looking at. This is we didn't post the exact milliamp, but something like that. So it's a one-time fuse and a little holder that can be pulled on and off and replaced. Like I said, the replacements are cheap enough that we might include a couple in the package if we can. Very tiny. They're very, very tiny. So definitely looking at those. Yes, you would need to set tweezers to pull it out, probably.
Yeah, that is
all right.
Quite small.
What else? Anything else? We're happy to keep the conversation going.
Oh, here we go. Griffith on YouTube. Any thought about combining the LED controller and a presence sensor? I love that my cabinet lights with presence. You can kind of do that with
that's a good idea.
The GPIO. I mean, you can already do it with the GPIO header on the MSR2, right? or like the MTR1, right, Brandon? I mean, you already have a wiki article on that.
That's a good idea. But like a true WLED controller. Like the MSR is great because it has a GPIO. Sure, you can run a handful of LEDs on 5 volts.
You're limited to a strip, but Brandon ran a super long strip, I think, from MSR2. Because you're just limited to the power from the... They can go through that mezzanine port, right?
That's a really good idea. Who suggested that? Griffith. Griffith?
Yep. No fuse, though. Ooh.
You don't want a fuse?
Interesting.
That would, I guess, because then, it does offer USB power delivery. We're super excited about that. You'll be able to change if you want 5 volts or 12 volts. So, Griffith does want the fuse. Yeah.
Yes.
The fuse is nice.
Want the fuse.
So yeah, definitely interested in all that. That's a good idea. It has a GPIO port on it, so maybe I can run enough of the UART to run a sensor.
I mean, at 2410.
I mean,
idea. Whatever is the like a lower. We had the low power ones too. I mean, that would work. Thoughts on powering the MSR2 with a power bank for an area with no outlets?
Yeah, Ben answered that it's super power hungry. You can. You're just gonna have to charge it pretty frequently.
Yeah.
If you have networking there and you can run PoE, I don't know if you were on earlier when we were talking about our R1, which is a PoE millimeter wave sensor that's going to be coming out sometime in the next couple of months. Excuse me. And that would solve it. If you don't have an outlet, at least if you can run an Ethernet cable, and that cable could be attached to a PoE injector, PoE switch, something like that. That would solve your power needs and give you perfect connection. So something to think about. And the FP2 doesn't have that.
Yep. And he's Ben's saying it has CO2 on it as well, and it's lasting long. So
cool.
That's great. All right. Anything else on YouTube or Discord?
We have channels for all this stuff in our Discord. We have, actually I lied. We don't have the WLED channel, but we will get that. We've got an R1. We don't have an R1 channel. We'll get that.
Yeah, we do. We have an R1 channel.
Okay, we got an R1.
Yeah, we have an R1 channel.
And
R1 channel.
We don't have the WLED, but we'll get that. So, yeah, talking there all the time. Brandon's incredible at keeping up with people. He pings us if there's ever something. It's hard for me to check it all the time and Justin check it all the time. We get pinged all the time. But
we're trying, though.
We want all the input on it. So, anything else? Wrap it up here.
We did. I posted the product page for the R1 if you want to sign up and get notified.
Oh, yeah.
You can follow along on Discord, and we'll post again. But if you just want to sign up for, let's see here, to be notified, you can just go to the page.
Yeah, it says notify me when available.
And yeah, it says, yep. So instead of buying it just says notify me when available, and then you'll get a little email, I believe, whenever it goes live.
All right, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, Jesse shared our one. Thanks, Cyberdog. Thanks again, everybody. Ben, thank you. Appreciate
thanks everyone for joining our stream.
First of 9, everybody, Pseudo, Twix, all the guys that you're always here. Kyle's in there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tubes, good to see you. Frederick, he's the guy who's doing some Zigbee stuff, so really appreciate it. And we're always available. You don't have to wait till live streams to ask questions or talk. Jump into Discord. We love, hearing your thoughts and making the products better.
Yeah.
And all Jesse will overnight everything to you.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
You'll wake up to a parking sensor.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Have a good night.
It.